right, Loho. Sorry, we're getting a little tiny bit of a late start there. It was like counting down from 15, and I looked down. I was like, "Oh my god, I left my coffee downstairs." So priorities. Had to run downstairs. Had to get the coffee. Was not going to do this without coffee. So yeah. Oh, let me get this up over here. God, I messed it up again. Oh, there. It's one of those days. It was Will yesterday, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. So, all right. So, some interesting things going on in the market right now. You're seeing not massive amounts of movement. You're seeing dollar strength roll back in. We kind of expected that. Empire State Manufacturing, good. We mentioned yesterday, again, didn't quite expect the 9.9. We expected a little bit. I'm like, what we mentioned yesterday was negative, but a lot less than what the 9.9 was. And actually, it came out to be a positive number. I actually expected that it was going to be like a minus two, minus maybe minus 1.9. Positive side is good. Industrial production also higher than expected, but there was an adjustment last time. But people will look at this and say, that's good, that's good. But this is going to be overshadowed by this. Okay. So the UAW, I posted it in there. I'm not a union guy. I got a friend who he goes out and helps unions. He travels all over the place. It's a guy I play lacrosse with. Um, he goes, he like, wherever there's like union problems, like he goes, he's like, I don't know if I don't know what he does. I don't know what his actual title is. Doesn't work for the union, but he helps the unions or helps people unionize type stuff. But the UAW members go on strike, at three places. Honestly, I think, Stellantis or Stellantis or whatever, I think they're getting the worst end of this deal, right? GM mid-sized trucks was, I don't think mid-size truck is their big moneymaker. I think it's their full size. I was trying to think of like what the mid-size GM truck was, like maybe like the Colorado or something. Maybe that one does well. And full size vans. I don't know anybody that has a full size van. I mean, maybe that's more of like a commercial thing, maybe, I guess. And then on Ford side, the Ford Ranger. I don't know. Is the Ranger the F 150? Because the only people I know, I'm pretty sure the Ranger is its own thing. Everybody, I don't know anybody with a Ford Ranger. It's F 150s and then the Bronco SUV, which again, you don't see tons. I mean, yeah, you see some out there, but I don't think Broncos are really what's driving the bottom line. And then Stellaris, Jeep Wrangler, and Gladiator. I mean, if you're Jeep, that's pretty much what you have is Wrangler, Gladiator. It's like, let's just shut this whole line down. So I feel like, I don't know. Stellantis, I feel like got the crap end of the stick. I was reading up on this. This is probably going to read to some pretty negative stuff. I don't know all the details on it. I posted in Discord yesterday. They want to work a 32-hour work week, but get paid for 40 hours. And I was like, well, first off, no. I don't know if they're looking for salary, and then they want to get rid of the tiers, and the tier thing is supposedly a big deal. I don't understand the tier thing fully. Maybe you guys do. If you do, type it in the chat. Um, the way that I kind of understood tiers kind of happens in all things. I mean, like in the financial services industry, depending on, I mean, it's kind of a tiered system. There's like kind of like the pay scale, and I'm assuming that's what they mean by tiers. And again, I don't know. I mean, we don't have a union in financial services, but depending on like your licenses and professional designations, there are tiers that you will start and get paid at. Again, just higher levels of proficiency. Engineers, it's the same thing. Depending on the level of, and I know this because my brother-in-law is a specialized engineer. Depending on what your designations are and what your certifications are in, there's a tier pay scale. They don't like it for some reason. I guess again, they only want to work 32 hours a week. Um, and yeah, and then everybody should get paid the same. I'm like, well, if one guy's like licensed on 27 different machines and been there for 25 years, why would he be on the same pay scale? Um, if he was going to jump to another company, why would he be on the same pay scale as somebody else? I don't know. Saw some different articles on it. And all three of the companies were going to give them a raise, but I guess even Ford said, "Hey, we had our top two guys actually come sit down at the meeting, and then the head negotiator on the other side didn't even show up that day. They just sent other people. Like we've tried four times, so yeah, I don't know. I guess there's a $840 million strike fund, but supposedly, depending on how big the strike was, they could eat that money up in a week. And on the flip side of the coin, I forget who it was. It was a little. I don't know if it was a litigation, a negotiation, or something. expert, but he was on the other side, and he says, "Hey, listen. I mean, obviously they want to strike. The three companies are already prepared for it. They knew it was coming. They could speed this process up, and they could just lock everybody out. So the way that this strike is happening is there's select plants that are being shut down. It's a stand up. It's not across the board. But what they said is what this guy says is he says my recommendation if they asked me was I would go directly to the companies and just lock every employee out because there are employees still working on expired contracts. And eventually they will start to shut different people down, depending on who. He said, "Yeah, we can tighten the screws real quick and just lock everybody out. They don't have contracts. We can just lock them out, and that would force that 840." So anyway, what they says is this is equivalent for every week that the strike is going on. It will be a loss of 6.5 like billion dollars worth of GDP. The GDP will go down by anywhere from point 0.1 to point 0.5 per or 0.05 per week that this is happening. And what I find is interesting is remember when we had the auto bailout that the auto industry was too big to fail. I mean, at this point, um, being on strike isn't that basically a failure? Doesn't that hurt the entire supply chain? It's kind of the same thing, right? I don't know. I don't know. I get the idea of a union, but I don't know. I feel like could the government just be like, hey, listen, the industry's too big to fail. And you talk about, basically the three companies like, listen, the things that they want are, insane. We cannot compete against you know, foreign non-unionized factories. And you can either say, well, I don't care. Okay, great. Then we send all the jobs overseas. So I don't know. It's own soap opera to watch. So we'll see how long it lasts. I don't know. My buddy, like I said, I haven't talked to him for a while. He's a super busy guy. I'm gonna call him like, hey, can you explain this to me? Because, you look at the headlines and it's like, hey, I would. I mean, hey, I'm sure many. Again, I'm sure many people in the United States. I'm sure we would be very, very hard to find many people, right? That don't want to work 32 hours but get paid for 40, right? I'm going to give you a free extra 8 hours every single week, right? Yeah. I mean, remember a couple years ago, Walmart? Remember they were like, they were like the most hated company in the world because they were only allowing people like 32 or 33 or 35 hours a week because if they weren't full time, they weren't required to provide benefits if you weren't a full time employee. Here, people are like, I don't want to work 32, and you're going to pay me for 40 though. Yeah, yeah, it sounds great. Um, okay, I guess less is more. So I don't know. I don't fully understand it all. So, but that's leading to some negativity. And again, it's justified. I mean, all the red out there right now, absolutely 100%. It doesn't necessarily affect the dollar. Again, the strike, is it going to help or hurt inflation? Technically, if cars aren't being produced, there's going to be auto inflation, right? Um, if there's less cars, less supply, that means the price of cars gets more expensive. Now, they did try to build up a little bit of a surplus. They did know that this was coming. This was not a surprise. Um, but yeah, overall, again, it hurts everything across the board. It's also hurting crude, although crude is at 90, right? It's at 90. Again, I wish it was like, oh God, it's hurting it so bad. It's $80 a barrel, but no, it's 90. So yeah, it's one of those things. But overall, VIX creeping up a little bit again. The strike is a big deal. They didn't know which ones, but you'll notice a lot of these movements. Again, not so much here, but like crude. Midnight was the big mover in oil. Started at midnight, and that's when the strike kind of officially started. So we'll see. I don't know. As I said, there's probably more to it than I've been able to read out there with this whole thing. Um, but just the headline things that they're asking for, like I said, I mean, for me, it's the same thing. There's certain things out there, right? Student loan debt. You signed the paperwork. You got the advanced degree compared to other people that didn't. You took that. You signed that debt. You shouldn't be forgiven, is my opinion, right? Same thing. I want to work 32 hours a week, but I want you to pay me for 40. No, no. If my employee told me that, I would tell him to pound sand. You know what I do? I would tell them to pound sand. I would fire them, and then what I would do is I would start automating my plants and just go, again, that's what I would do. The plants are already pretty much, a lot automated, but I would be like, fine, you're forcing my hand. And actually, what they were saying, one of the big things from this one, these plants going on strike, they said are basically wrecking the EV kind of because of these things. It's going to set Biden's kind of EV mandates. They're just done. It's over. It's end of story. We're gonna lose the EV battle because of these strikes now as well. So yeah, there's again a lot of kind of the same thing. The reason they were too big to fail, there's a lot going to happen here, right? Now, again, a little bit different, right? I mean, obviously, auto parts, people's cars are going to be breaking. If we don't have old cars, you don't have new cars, you're going to keep old cars. So again, parts and things like that will be good. But yeah, I mean, if you think about it, if you're a company, does it make sense to? I mean, if McDonald's is automating because they don't want um, the issues with labor, I mean, I think you know, is there any reason why? Eventually, people need to find jobs. You can either send jobs over to people that want to work, or you can automate it. And I don't know. You think about it as a publicly owned company, they profits is their what they're supposed to be doing. So yeah, it's like, hey, I need to protect my profits as a company, right? If you want you want a 40% raise and you only want to work 32 hours a week and get paid for 40, how is that good business in any sense, right? I understand supposedly they're making up for things over like the COVID era and stuff. They're trying to make it up, and each of the I think Ford had the best offer. They said they would give a 20% raise over like 4 years. Um, Again, it seems that's kind of seems like a lot to me, but then if you break it up, it's like 5% per year. Is that a lot? Yeah, kind of. But again, with the cost of living adjustments and everything, they want cost of living adjustments also. But like, if they haven't really gotten it over the last couple years with COVID, with like, I could see 5% would be a stretch, right? To me, because not everybody gets paid 5% every single year, increase in their salary. So, yeah, we'll see. But today, it's going to give a very negative intonation. These plants are shut down. We're not producing cars. It's going to hurt all the earnings in that, all there. Um, Again, less people working, less people spending money. So we'll see. Overall, for the most part, though, dollar yen, biggest mover on the board at 72, followed closely by the pound yen at 58. You can see euro pound 10. Again, a little bit of movement coming back in that euro over there. Dollar CAD, more or less, is stabilized, only up 17. We were looking for it to push up just a little bit more. Dollar Swiss, 22, nothing big. And then, again, euro dollar, pound dollar, -7 and -22, just dollar strength. That's about it. But I am excited about the Empire State Manufacturing and the industrial production, both good. Again, kind of overshadowed though by the strike. And like I said, I think we're going to stop producing Jeep Wranglers. I mean, I'm sure they produce them at more than one plant, but maybe not. But I just feel like, yeah, the Ford Ranger. Like, who the heck has a Ford Ranger? Maybe like fleet vehicle Ford Ranger. I don't know, but I mean, to me, it's I don't know. Maybe the F-150 is a Ranger, but I don't think so. I'm pretty sure they're different trucks. So, yeah, I think it's the F-150, and I forget what the Chevy is, the big one. But and I think the Colorado is the mid one. A buddy of mine had one. It was nice looking. Um, so yeah, that's what we got today. As far as what is coming in this weekend, nothing Saturday, nothing Sunday. Monday we have monetary policy, and not much else besides that. So obviously a slow Monday next week as well, but that means we can have a decent quiet time to be able to do our homework over the weekend. Jumping across, as I said, VIX up slightly again. Whenever you hear a strike is something as big as like the auto industry, and again, the auto industry is there, and it's what I think is interesting with this whole union thing. Um, you know, there's a huge push to unionize Starbucks. Um, but I think it's a very dangerous game. And actually, that's what the analyst said. The analyst said, hey, listen, if you're going to close them down anyway and hold us hostage, we'll just speed this process up. We'll just lock you out and then you get no money. And then you can eat up your 840 million in a week. And then you'll play ball on our side. Right. Um, but the problem is you're going to drive innovation. Again, if McDonald's is trying to fully automate and hire 2 staff members, um, again, I think Starbucks can do the same thing. You know, um, I don't know. Yeah, it's there. I mean, I want fairness to workers, but I don't know. Dollar overall holding high. It's down just a smidge. It's basically more or less flat. Yesterday we were sitting right about here. We were stuck in all this chop. We're a little bit above it right now. We're very high. I mean, we're at 105.40ish. A couple different articles talking about how the Fed's going to raise one more time and then push the rate decrease, farther, basically push back the 2024 rate decreases. Again, the Fed's been very clear for the last year that they weren't going to do any type of cuts until the end of 2024 at a minimum, right? And people are still like, oh no, they're going to cut the shit. Remember, like a couple months ago, I was like, oh, they're going to cut 0.75 this year, right? They're going to do one more and then they're going to cut 0.75. And the Fed's always been saying end of next year at the earliest that they were going to hold it here for quite some time. And I mean, we're talking about, are they going to raise, oh, they could potentially raise one more time in November. They're not cutting, so I mean, again, 105.50 is quite high up here. We're at 105.33, but any type of dollar pressure at all, we just punch a little bit higher. So, yeah, we're sitting up there. Indices all in the red. Again, not so much dollar, but again, anytime there's a strike, starts hurting GDP and all kinds. I don't know. Maybe the strike will solve the Fed's inflation problem. There was an article written on there on that. Now, commodities are split. Gold and silver are both up. And interesting enough, you can say, wait a second, the dollar's not down. I mean, it's holding high. They're both up. Yeah, they are. You're right. 23.10 again, about 10 cents higher. It says 49, but we had that big drop yesterday and just retraced back up again. And 1923, I think the 1923 is a little bit high. We were looking for sales at 1919. This one is a little bit high. I don't know if it's quite justified that high, but it is what it is. Crude, play with 90. Excuse me. It was all the way up to like 91, I think, before the crash. And again, hearing that the auto industry is striking, that means less cars, that means less people driving. It does change the trajectory a little bit. So but again, I think it's important that we don't close above 90, right? I don't think, we don't want to close above 90. And natural gas, 270, up just a smidge, right? The problem, I mean, right now outside, it's 65 degrees outside here in Maryland. They're probably like, oh God, people are turning the heater on. Like, no, no. At 65, you just grab a sweatshirt. You can still wear shorts and a sweatshirt. So we're not quite at that stage yet. I don't know. Maybe Maine. Maybe Maine has snow this week, and that's what's gonna, what they can quote next for that. But I feel like natural gas again. It's just starting to roll a little bit negative. I think that one comes back down. I don't know if we can drop 5 cents today. The market does close a little early, but I think 265, 260 is where we really should be. Not at 270. I don't think anything justifies being that high. As far as the Aussie dollar goes, you can see Aussie dollar went a little bit higher. We were looking for sells up here, and where were we? Yesterday we were sitting right in here, and we kind of bounced back into the zone. And late last night at about 10 o'clock, actually 8 o'clock, we really started to kind of drive back up again. And then right around that midnight time frame is where this really started to crank back down again. So it did unfortunately go a little bit lower. And we talked about this. We had a 61 level, but we knew that we had a step here, a step here, a step here. And again, we were trying to get as close to the 61 and try to get as much help as we could. Again, a little bit of a tested level, kind of pushed up and then kind of went up here and then dropped. It ended up going and grabbing this little upper level, which is kind of a bummer. But again, you may or may not have traded this one. We're really hoping these guys step in. It did hit it and pull back, and then came up and started the base, and then it just went right above, and then boom, all the way back down again. So the thinking was right on this one. Unfortunately, the entry on it was a little bit off. We were looking for a little bit more help here. Unfortunately, it was just too far back. We did get it. It popped through a couple pips, and then boom, it went right back down to where we thought. So always frustrating when it does that. Right now, as far as to the downside, again, I don't hate dollar strength here. I don't know if it's fully justified. There's a lot of hiccups in here. I mean, we had the spike up and down for all the news yesterday, the second spike up and down. Then we had this push, and it went just a little smidge deeper. And that's where the 50 is. There's probably, some chop in there. But really, until we get anything untested, we have it all the way down here at the 6-1-8. So we got about another 25 pips to go. That happens to be a 4-hour ATR. If you're already short, great. There was actually, from this old level, if you would have used it, if you would have boxed it off, you would have said, oh, look, there's a Harry Potter, right? We smashed the zone. We came through and we based, and then we went down, and we literally gave the Harry Potter, right? Down, back up, and down. Whoops. And that's exactly what we got right there. So it came in. You may have been able to grab this one short. It wasn't a monstrous run from there. You're only talking about 25 pips. And again, it is running into buyers right now. But overall, again, we missed it by just a little tiny bit. It sucks when that happens. It did move to where we thought. At this point, I wanted to come down and go to the 64.14. Oh, the sentiment coming in. I was like, wait, what? What is it? What is it doing? It's giving us 5 minutes on the sentiment. And I think probably the inflation expectations. I hate when they do this. Like, consumer sentiment here. I mean, think about it. What's more important? How well you feel like the economy's doing, or where you think inflation really is, right? I mean, if you can say, yeah, the economy's crap, but I can afford things, you're going to buy and spend. If you think that everything is like double the price it was before, like, listen, inflation is just still, everything is so expensive, right? You're going to spend less. I really feel like this should be a bigger color, but it's not. But we'll see where it comes into. I mean, right now, um, we're kind of driving down into a level. Um, we'll see how much movement we get on it. Looks like it's trying to set up for a long. It's trying to, but sellers, there's just not enough room. 17. Yeah, there's just not enough room for it to take it long. Um, yeah, I mean it looks like it wants to go long, but it's trying, but it's just not in the right spot. I don't know. Maybe this little rally up it's pulling. Let's see. Hold on. I wonder if it's pulling up to there. How much is that? Could go before. Yeah, I think once we get down, and again, maybe this number is good enough, right? Maybe the sentiment is enough to drive us down, and then we can retrace back again. Because you think about it, since basically midnight, we've been on a tear to here, and that's about 38 pips. If we push all the way down, that's 60 pips, right? That's 60 pips. That's 1 day's worth of movement from midnight till now. That would give us the opportunity to kind of play this retracement back a little bit. So again, look for a bounce off of this one. I kind of hope that it just kind of pushes up again and then kind of comes around. Um, yeah, I'd like this. I do like this as 61. I do like the level here. I'm good with the level, but again, it's a Friday. It's always hard to trade this one when it gets a little bit too late in the day. So, I mean, it's there. It's there. Hmm. Ugh. I mean, yeah. I don't know that I could. I don't know. How much is it? Yeah, it's only 6. Yeah, I just feel like for a Friday, if you're not already short this one, it's just a little bit too late to win this one, even with news. We'll see where it bounces. If it shoots straight down, look for a retracement back up again. Again, this needs to be adjusted higher. Um, you can see the 23 provided a little bit of a bounce, and then it just smashed to the downside. So I think the next level again, 64.14. Look for it to bounce. We'll see if we get the news help on it. Also, again, also turning and flipping. You're seeing also weakness come in. Yesterday we are sitting back in this level, and all it did was it pulled back down and it found those buyers at the 23. We were really looking for some Aussie weakness, some yen strength. We didn't get it. It just got stuck inside of there, and then when the market ended, same thing. Late last night, we got another surge forward with the Aussie, so it didn't actually come back down again. It fought. I mean, it went right back down again. I mean, the problem with it is this is really sloppy right there, right? Buyers, buyers, boom. Buyers, and a nice little pop. So, I mean, there was legitimately buyers at that 23 level. And it kind of came down there at 10, and then 11 o'clock it used it, and then kind of formed a nice little base higher. So um, let's adjust this one, and we'll start kind of getting it ready for next week. I mean, right now we shouldn't have any issues until we get down to here, so we should be able to break through that 23. Again, I don't, you know, again between the Dow and the proxy, we shouldn't get too much of a reaction. I think this one probably comes back down and stabilizes itself somewhere between the 95. Again, is there a clear zone in here? Right? Is there? Whoops. Is Oh my god. Whatever they did, they have changed something that I don't like the settings now. It's like if you click it and do, I don't know. I'm having this issue where I click it and then go and then it clicks off of it. I don't know. It's starting to annoy the hell out of me. Um, is there a clean buying area in there? Not really. Right? Not really. I think the next clean one is actually probably down here. Right? Probably down in that level. And again, you can see the wick over wick here with the confirmations coming in, right? And then again, came down, and then that was kind of the takeoff point. So, um, hmm, top wise, the same pullback, same pullback, boom, 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 came right back up, failed, and then crashed through. Hmm, yeah, there's just there's nothing. The choppiness from yesterday. 2 days of news. This one really kind of scattered. Uh, clicked it and then it disappeared on me. Come on. 1, 0, -4. Thank God for this one. 11. Two rallying up. All right, so adjustment down as well as worse. But the inflation expectation is not bad. Look at that, right? Only assuming that the expectations are worth 3.1, that's not that bad, right? From 3.5, that's not horrible. They don't mark it in color, but that's not really horrible. I mean, this is bad, right? Good, good, bad. And that's actually, it's good. That's not bad at all, right? I think that's decent, right? So you're seeing a little bit again play back and forth. I don't think that's I don't think the news is a major game changer. I think this one comes down again. I kind of like it to grind down and see how far it can go. This is going to be more of a Monday night. You can actually see it right here. The RBA meeting notes. I think that really matters for what the Aussie is going to do next. If we're able to surge back up and the Aussie gets some strength today, again, 95.67. When you look at it from here up, it's only 43 pips. If we can rally up today and we can open up here Sunday night, I think that's actually a decent level to take a turn and short from. So not bad, right? Not the worst spot. If we deteriorate down again, I'm going to see a new bottom put in. I don't like any of them in here. There's too many wicks back and forth again. Too choppy. I'm going to say downside. Right now, I'm going to bracket off and say these are kind of the two levels that I'm really looking for. All right. All right. Yeah. Euro dollar. So we mentioned looking for a bottom somewhere in here yesterday. We said, hey, we got a strong push in. I'm put this yellow box and I said, hey, listen, we got two zones in here. We're looking for some basing, some red, green, reds in there. I'm sorry, some green, red, greens. You can see the green came here, went lower, right? Green, this came lower, got rid of it. There's a green, went lower than that green, so that one's out. Green, red, green, close on the top of that zone, and boom, right back out the top side. So there is your reversal. It actually came in last night at about 11 o'clock. We should be above it now. Pretty close, anyway. 11. There you go. We're officially out now. There's your 1 to 3. So yeah, kind of worked out how we mentioned, and again, just got you out right now. All right. So that's why we mentioned this whole area. We wanted to see really where it came from. Because again, we knew we had a level there, but a little bit more aggressive. And again, the news kind of messed that one up. And then down here, and what you may have done is actually not use that full level. You may have just used this level right here. Right? Again, came back up. And did it break any low? Did it break below? Nope. And there it goes. So you can see either one would work. The yellow zone on this one, though, was 8.5, 9 pips, where the full one was about 10. Right, where the full one was 10. So again, you needed the confirmation. The confirmation did come at 11 o'clock. So if you were up, you caught it. If you weren't, you didn't. Is kind of how that one worked. All right. So, but yeah, it's out now. You're out now. So 10 for 30, favorite trade, best one ever. Love those favorite ones. 30 pips a day keeps the I don't even know, not the teacher away. Would say tax collector, but if you're making 30 pips minimum every single day, yeah, the tax collector's coming. They love trading profits. So yeah, euro dollar right now. Is there anything stopping us? Not really. Not until 107.28. That would be a lot of dollar weakness today. I don't know if we're gonna eat that much today. I mean, how much is it? That's another 50 pips weakness. I feel like that's more of a Sunday night move, not necessarily a Friday afternoon move. But I mean, it's possible. Maybe everybody's like, that's it. The dollar smoked. The Fed needs to do nothing now because of the auto industry, right? Maybe. I mean, that's a good possibility, right? So, but we are seeing it surge forward. It's just again, maybe it turns and flips. I don't know. Maybe it comes into here and hits 107 and flips. Could it flip at 107? Sure, absolutely. 107 has its own area of sellers, even though it's not marked. You see there are some wicks in there. But again, until we get up to 107.28, not really interested whatsoever. I'd like this one to grind this back up again if we can get this top level. I would say this would be the next area where I'm kind of, I could be, absolutely, swayed to take a short there. If we can get up there by Sunday, yeah, I like that one. I think that's pretty decent. Again, it was able to backstop the news there. All right. So again, if you got in this one, congratulations. We popped this off yesterday. Said look for the confirmation, the green, red, green. And as was right there, and boom, off to the races. All right. Euro pound. All right. So euro pound. So you love one and then you hate the next, right? So we said get long 85.65. Made it down to 85.69. So we missed it by 4 pips. Such is life. And then rallied all the way back up again. It's like, damn, there's the move, right? I mean, yesterday, right? Yesterday morning, we just missed the top. And I think that was by 4 pips too, right? Yeah, 5 pips there. I missed it. And then today, the low down 4.5. So both of them 4.5 to 5 pips. So yeah. So somebody's front running my zones. If I find you. No, I'm just kidding. It happens. Again, this isn't the biggest mover. I don't technically, this is one of the ones I don't really trade too much. With a daily ATR of 38, we're up to 38. It was down to 37. We're up to 38 now. We're cruising. Again, a pip an hour is kind of hard to watch. After, depending on what side you are, I mean, when you're taking the rollover, when you get the roll, you're either making money or losing money. Doesn't necessarily work out the best for you. So yeah. Again, there's your top and bottom. Not much to say about this one. Euro yen. We called for up. You can see yesterday it hit it at about 12 o'clock. We marked the bottom off and kind of the same thing. We talked that failure to go lower. Find the zone, right? Find the zone, right? There's your green, red, green. Draw your new zone if you want. You can put it right there. There's your green, red, green. Right? And you would have gotten in on the trigger here. I'm using it to box that off. But it would have been there. And there's 1 to 3. So you were out at 3 o'clock in the morning. So, and it's on its way to 158. I think we probably do hit 158 today. But again, pretty easy one. You could have taken the zone and used the zone, right? Or you could have waited for the red, green, red, or the green, red, green, which again kicked in at about 3 o'clock, gave us the zone here. And again, it did pull back. You could have taken it from there, or you can have taken the side. It wouldn't have mattered either way. But again, 18 for 56. So there's 86 pips in the overnight, just off of those extension levels. Okay. Again, I think we hit 158. As far as taking this one short, not really interested until we get back up top. I do think 158 has its own level of sellers, though. It is a 61.8 level as well. Again, whenever I guess it's not now. Hold on. Nope. Oh, oh. Let's see. Where is it now? Funny when I drug it down that the arrow now is pointing exactly at 61.8. Yeah, I still think. I think we probably end up high, and I'm okay with that high. Right? I think 158 is justified. So I'm good with that one. No problems. No problems with that. Again, I was really looking for the reversal after what we saw yesterday. Seconds. 3. Okay, there we go. All right. Yeah. So where this one is moving, again, I think we come up. If it turns to the 61.8, so be it. The trade is done for the day. Again, this is one of those things. Be done, get out, and call it a day. So this is one of those ones you wake up and you're like, yeah, you know what? I work 30 hours, 32 hours this week, and I'm paying myself for 40. There you go. Perfect example right there, right? Pound dollar. All right, so pound dollar did go a little bit lower. We were looking for 123.82 and it went to 123.89. So missed this by 7 before it turned and flipped. It is in a green, red, green, and again we're seeing some dollar weakness roll back in. We kind of knew that. As far as kind of where the bottom is and where this one's going to, I think the 61.8 level here, now that we have a bottom in, if this continues to move, again, I would say there's 2 levels of this one. Here's probably a profit taking level here, right? Again, it's kind of in no man's land. This one's a little high on the 50, but I don't like that the red is there, but I would say that these are probably 2 decent sell areas. Again, this one here is probably more profit taking than anything else, right? That one is probably more profit taking than anything else because we're on a surge right now, right? If we can get a confirmation entry on it, sure, great. But if this does continue to rally up and just, I think 124.85, if we can tag this one Monday, I think Sunday night, Monday, that would be a decent level. Again, it's about 60 pips away. It's got a daily ATR of 91, so it's got room to run. Okay. Pound yen. We talked about this one as well. So yesterday, we were looking for the bottom. We knew it was down here somewhere, right? And I'm going to move this out of the way so you guys can see it. And again, it's kind of extended, right? I have it drawn here. It's actually there. So I was off by just a little bit. It was a little bit more base than I was looking for. Whoops. Yeah. Green, red, and green close above. Right. So we were a little bit, again, we were looking for it down here somewhere. We knew it was going to come in somewhere. We were looking for that confirmation. That confirmation would have came in there. Again, a little bit big. Not everybody's taking trades that big. What was the total in that one? Yeah, it's 30. Not for me, but that doesn't mean you wouldn't like it. Looks like your confirmation kicked in at 9:30. And your 1 to 3 is right. There you go. 1 to 3 exactly. And again, that was 31 for 94. So again, looking for those confirmations coming out of that zone. So yeah. Let's see. That one was out. We'll leave them, and again, just so it's there for the adjustment for next week. Let's take this over here. Right now. There are sellers sitting here. Nice little 50 pullback. I don't. I would have traded it. It's nice that there's the again where the black line is exactly where you expect buyers to step in. And again, I got front run by a few pips, but not a bad hit, not a horrible area. So yeah. So again, another confirmation trade out the other side. Yeah. Again, 30 pips seems like a lot, but you can see it. You're barely negative at all. Dollar CAD. Again, looking for that confirmation. We knew we had something around 35. We're like, oh God, it's in here somewhere, right? We're looking for it, right? Trying to find it. Looks like yesterday at 12, we kind of pushed down. We had this, we had the red green, and it kind of closed right at the top. I wouldn't quite consider that a close above. And then the red came back down again. Here, over here, green, red, and then green. And here, let's pull this back off again. And there's your green, right there. Actually, that's right. We'll pull this down. There's your green. There's your red. There's your green. And there is your one. There you go. So let's make this big so you guys can see it. Green, red did not come lower, and then the green closed above. There's your level of risk, right? Right. I was here. It came down and actually grabbed it on the next candle, so it's actually there. Or again, if you didn't take it right away, if you were trying to get the trade on and it came back up again, there was your touch. So either one works. And oh crap, I hate when that happens. And magically, 10 for 30. Gotta love that. So yeah, again, this one got you out at 8 o'clock this morning. So another little 10 for 30. Gotta love those. And again, it's not there. We knew that 135 was going to be a big deal. Again, big psychological level for the dollar CAD. 130, 135, and 140 are big. So yeah. Funny enough, we talked about this little basing level here that was the 23. It's obviously not the 23 anymore, but that was what it bounced off of. So again, not an entry. I don't want you guys to think that, oh, we're pulling the trigger, we're flipping the trigger. No, you were going long. Again, I would have said get yourself out of the 23 stake. I would have looked at this one and said, okay, there's any type of confirmation in. So we had a 1 to 3 range on that one. And again, with this piece here, it was a 23, but once it drove lower, it wasn't. But again, would not have turned it and reversed it there. Take yourself out of the trade. It's another 10 and another 30 and be done with it. Dollar Swiss. All right. Let's see. Nothing's really changed on this one. We're in the same spot. What's the difference? 4 pips in 24 hours. So yeah, we're maintaining high until we get up to 89.95. Not really interested in getting short. You can see there are sellers in here, so it is backstop to go higher. It should grind, go up a little bit more. Um, so yeah, yeah, I'm not interested. I mean, there's a red green rented here. I'm not too interested in it. It's just there's not enough. I mean, there's 14. There's seller. Look, there's buyers situated here. That's what they ran into over here, and then we got a little kind of green right here too. So I mean, we're they're moving. Um, yeah, I mean it's there. It's fine. It's all right. It's high. I'd say looking for more of a bearish stance on this one. If we can get up a little bit more, it's got 30 pips, so it's got half of an a daily ATR. If we can get up to 89.95 on Sunday night, it's probably not horrible, right? Not bad for a short. So we'll see. Um, dollar yen. All right, so dollar yen. We did have an alert go off, and this is one of those ones. Look at this. There's the spike up and down. 1 o'clock this morning. Came up. I got this alert. I have a couple different platforms that I obviously have. I got this alert. It went off here at 3 o'clock. This is one of those ones where it's like I thought I had it on the same thing. Sometimes, again, this is FXCM, so it must have been the Oand alert that popped off on me. I'm like, why am I getting alerts? And then I got another alert. I'm like, I already got that alert. So like, talk about throwing yourself off in the middle of the night. But anyway, spike up, straight back down, came back up and started the base in that level. I'm like, all right, where's confirmation coming in yet? It didn't. It's going to go lower, and this is probably where it's going to be at the top. Again, it was a nice strong push, and then when it started the base here, like, oh crap, that's not where you want it to be basing. Um, so you may have taken a 13 pip loss if you had done. 'Cause again, this was late. If you missed this one, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. Had you done, look down here and said, hey, you listen. For some reason, if it goes up, I want to get short. I'm going to set and forget it. Guess what? Sometimes this thing happens. There's been three other trades that we talked about that we had set up, and then bam, here you go. Um, Boom, 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 boom. Again, if you're looking for the confirmation, there's a red, there's a green. It came up. Not really. There's a red, didn't close above. There's a red, there's a green, there's a red. It's not too much far off there, right? Um, Kind of in that level. So it's kind of at the same spot. If you want to wait for a pullback, then great. Coming back up to, you know, 80, right? 147.80. But for the most part, I think this one probably deteriorates back down again. Look for a profit. And again, we talked about profit targets coming back down to 147.35. Most likely where it rolls back down to. So yeah. Yeah. I think that's probably where it comes back down to. I think we probably come down here and stabilize at that level. Maybe the 147.50-ish this weekend. This one is high, but I think this one right now has so many different things going on. Is the dollar going to be strong? And is the dollar strong? Is it going to wreck the yen? At the same time, it's a lot of play back and forth. So I think honestly, even though there's been so much movement in the dollar yen, I think this has been one of the most challenging pairs because good news is bad news is good. Is it good for the dollar? But is it good for the stock market? And is that proxy play going to be in there? Remember the yen was going to, when this one was at 130, the yen was going to intervene. Then it was at 135 and we're going to intervene. Now we're at 147 and you're hearing some rumblings, but remember the world was literally supposed to end if it got to 135. And now we're well beyond that and the BOJ has not intervened. So, yeah, who knows? This could be a weekend too. Watch, Monday we'll come back and this will be at 140 because, they intervened or something like that. Something crazy like that. So, who knows? But again, where we're at, bearish thinking, bearish feeling, very, very high on the curve. We were looking for some type of a short trade. Again, with this spike back up again, it's a shame because the spike up and it came literally all the way back down to the profit target. It's like, damn. And then once it went up again, it smashed through. The sellers here, this is really where we needed the sell, right here, right? Because once it went up and it started the base in here, you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna go higher than this level. This level's not gonna hold, and it just not. I mean, it only went a little bit above. Um, So we'll see. I would say it's almost really at a Harry Potter trade at this point. Although, hold on. 12. Not really. There's not enough room for it. So, yeah, that's what it is. Let's look at that good old crude. Yeah. So interesting enough, you can see this one went up, and where is the peak? Well, the peak is at 0.00, basically meaning at midnight when the strike happened. We are at $91.10. So I told you we got to 89. 90 was 90 was right there. We had no problems at 90. God, if we get there, who knows? Well, we went up and touched 91.10. So I mean, it's rocking. And then all of a sudden the auto strike came in and just collapsed this thing. 9 o'clock was like bam. And then once the US trader got along, now we're stabilizing back again. So kind of in a Harry Potter. We were looking for something up here. Yeah, we were looking at this one yesterday, and yeah, like 2 o'clock, it said, nope, I'm gonna pull back, I'm gonna grab buyers, and I'm gonna smash this thing higher. Um, have fun with this one. I just hope we don't close above 90 for the week. That would be rough. And here's the thing, like we're talking about like 90 on this one, but look what we got sitting right here, right? The contract switch, right? What do we typically see with the contract switches? The price pops, right? So yeah. So again, the analysis will change next week. We'll see. Yeah, not loving crude where it is right now. So yeah, inflation's coming back, right? It's coming back. Look, energy prices expected to drive Canadian headline inflation for August. See? See? And again, not that they have problems with crude being more expensive, but inflation. You don't want more inflation out there. I don't think the cat can stomach too much more. So yeah. We'll see how this one goes. Remember, this market does close a little bit early. One area I would watch out for is this area sitting right here. There was a decent base. It came down and then came back and then kind of accelerated off of it at 7:30 this morning. It may push up to there and then roll back, but remember, we only got like 4 hours left on this one. This one doesn't go the full day. It really starts to flatline at noon, so you're kind of running out of steam. But if we come up here, this may be like a Friday, Sunday thing, but unfortunately, too, the contract switch is going to screw this one up on Monday. So it is what it is. Again, you've got enough pips overnight. I wouldn't play with crude oil today. Natural gas, again, more or less stabilizing up 0.11. We're kind of sitting. We were sitting here yesterday. We had this big push because of inventories, and then we dropped and kind of went down and kind of went up and down, up, and we're still kind of at that same spot. We were looking for buyers to come in at 265. Again, not quite there. Not quite there. So, um, yeah, one of those things. So, what do you do with natural gas? I think we're going to stay in this range for a little bit. Yeah, look, natural gas moves lower as fall temperatures approach and inventories run high. Does this look like it's falling? I mean, it fell yesterday, and is it really falling? No, it just went up and went down and went up and went down, and now it's a little bit higher, right? So it's just stabilizing. It hasn't fallen. Um, Remember, earlier in the week, it went up because it was cold. Now we're talking about fall temperatures, and it's falling. So it is what it is. Let's look at gold. Gold taking off. Gold really liked that news at 9, right? Gold was a big fan. Now we talked about 1919, and you can see we hit it. So this is one of those ones you got to be very, very cautious with it. Once it started the base here, you're like, oh man, why are you putting a zone in there, right? And what did it do? It hit it. 3 o'clock this morning, it hit our sell, went back down, and obviously there are buyers sitting there. There's a rally, basing sideways in a rally. And what did it do? It hit them, and then it grabbed them again, and grabbed them again, and grabbed them again. And then what did it do? 8 o'clock, it drove it straight into that zone again in preparation for the 9 o'clock, the open time frame, and then took off. So, yeah, gotta love when that happens. So again, there was sellers sitting in there, but unfortunately, on the way up to that level, the approach, new buyers formed, and it needed them. It went up and it came back and get them. Hit it again, came back and grabbed them. Hit it again, and they were still selling. Came back and grabbed that level of buyers yet again, and then that was it. The sellers were done because you can see, the raise up here. It was just getting smaller, 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 and smaller. And we had this is 3 hits right here within close succession. So it makes sense. Unfortunately, it's one of those ones you probably got stopped out at break even. If anything, again, it was a battle, and again, this just shows you got to watch the approach. Right? It needed help, needed help, needed help, and then finally smashed through on the third time. So yeah, good run on gold. Good run on gold. So 1933 is the next area that we're really looking for. There's obviously some selling up in here, right? Sitting up in this range, but is there a zone that we can draw it off of? Not a reliable one right now. We're above the 78.6, so let's just take this and we're going to get this one ready for next week. Pull that one off, bring this down so you can see it. Let's run fibs from here up. There you go. Look, right now, if this stops right now and profit taking comes in, it is 1030. If it rolls back down again, look at that 50% level. So it is, Will's going all in. Did he do it right this time? He did do it right this time. He did. I mean, Ernest, he tried really hard the other day. He tried really, really hard, right? We warned him. He did it today, though. It's just great that you guys acknowledged it. He's like, I'm going to get in plenty of time. He probably has a meeting. He probably has a meeting at 10:30, so we can't stay around. Anyway, 1933. I would like to end up here. I think if we can close up here for Sunday night, I think this is probably pretty decent. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, this is 100% the correct move. Gold did exactly what it should have done. I don't want to. There's no excuses about it. Yeah, we had a zone there, and it hit that zone 3 times in close succession, and again, it formed. It did it. So it's high. Again, I'm looking for 1933.40 up top. I'd like to close up here if we can get a red, green, red. I don't think it's going to give us enough room today, but closing up here Sunday night. I think this is could be a nice little Sunday night short in gold. All right, silver. Again, silver, it's up 2.4. It's going to have a hard time. You can see it based again right below that 23, came up and it based again, and it's fighting, right? 23 is a big deal, right? We know that. 23.50 was where we were looking for sales. Maybe we can rally up. I mean, we're already up 2.5%. Can we rally even more? Get up 23.50? That'd be awesome if we could. It'd be a nice little sell. I think right now we probably stay somewhat in the range of 23. Sunday night, same thing. Kind of the same thinking. Do we go, Friday into Sunday? Is that where the short is? Yeah, could be. Could be. Um, yeah, I'm kind of hoping we rally up. I would actually really like if we could be right there. I think that'd be a great Sunday night trade. Be good with that one, right? Gold gains as dollar slips. Focus shifts to Fed's next meeting. Yeah, we'll see. I will tell you the interesting thing to be, and again, who knows how long this strike is going to last. If the strike is like partially done, obviously the Fed's going to take it under consideration because it's obviously hurting the GDP. It's kind of helping do their job for them. Be interesting to see if the strike is still going on. Does the Fed mention the strike and the potential harm of raising again? Or again, if the strike is done by the next meeting, will they be like, "That's off the table. Let's do it. Let's go." I still think they're going to pause. I think we pause and then go one more. But I think they're going to. I think what they're going to do is like we're going to hold, but we're ready to go up unless we see something in the data. I think they're going to telegraph it. I think that's what. So there's no surprises. So that's what I'm thinking. So again, I'd like to get short this one Sunday. I'm not super worried about it. Apple, straight down. Whoop. Tesla, whoop, straight down. VIX obviously popping up. Dollar again, it's not crashing through the floor. It's kind of fighting. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, yes, as a cliff. It's like wow. Um, 8:15, 8:30. 8:45, 9, 9:15. There was no stopping this thing. And honestly, you can see where was the peak on this one? Midnight. Okay. Midnight. Midnight is right there. That's literally at the peak. What happened at midnight? Bam, the strike. So not surprised at all this is going down as ES. A big, a lot of risk on this one. No, but obviously it's a big contagion when you have, the 3 big automakers of the United States. Yeah, not surprised. And again, as soon as the U.S. retail trader came online, saw oh God, they're striking, it just accelerated. So not really surprised. Obviously, no opening print. This thing was already in its collapse. No overnight tested levels. They're all sitting up there, off to the races. Yeah, there's the 9:15. It kind of came back up. It kind of did it, right? You guys know I love this formation right here, right? And we closed down and we actually came back up to it. On a 5, you could probably see it. Yeah. Look, it came down to here, went up, and then grabbed it right at the open. Yep. This one right here, the one that came up and tested is the 9:30. So again, same thing. Whoops. 30-minute, 15-minute. The peak right there. There's a strike. Holy crap. Right? So this is what we got going on right now. We have an auto strike going on. We have the government trying to collapse. Right? What else is going on? North Korea shot a ballistic missile. What else is there? Got to be something else. Things happen in. I guess that's 3. Things happen in 3s. Right? Everything happens in. All this stuff happened in 48 hours. Oh, China. China has. I guess it's for their exercises, but Taiwan's pissed because China's got like an additional 40 fighter aircraft or something like that. They're basically stacking assets. This could be the weekend that China goes after Taiwan. I don't know. It seems like that's the press out there. We'll have you believe that. So who knows? Maybe this is the end of the world this weekend. Who knows? But again, peak auto industry straight down. Dow. The peak on this one was actually this morning, right? Because here's where we started. And again, kind of a push down, push back up, and really at 7 o'clock, it was like, nope, nope, nope. And just took off right to the downside. And again, this one may have been a little bit more resilient because everybody was probably trying to short it, right? Again, manufacturing, right? So as this one was coming down, you can see it did rally back up. That may have been to take some short trades out, right? Of all of them, if you think about, okay, manufacturing, we're going to shut the plants down. ES tech company, or ES is kind of the bigger, blue chip guys. Probably not so much risk. NQ tech companies, nah. YM, yeah. So this may have actually been a way to everybody trying to short this one, rising the price up to take those guys out, and then once it was like, nope, we're breaking through, may have caused the problem on this one. So, not surprised. And then Russell, again, the peak right at midnight. Right? Kind of the same story, a little bit of chop back and forth. Nothing super exciting in this one as well. So, unfortunately, a strike is a big deal. The threat to the GDP, again, taking a whole lot of money out of there is actually a big deal. Again, EV stuff is wrecked. Those are done. You can take that off the table. I guess there was 8 House Democrats that also helped strike down California's EV mandate. Democrats are also like, hey, listen, it's just not going to work. No. Especially with the prices of EV and the fact that they're, no environmentally safer than regular gasoline cars right now. So, the fact that it's cheaper with gasoline, they're trying to mandate people do more expensive things in California. No. So yeah, 8 Democrats actually voted with Republicans to strike that down. So yeah, there's that as well. A lot of drama. Let's see, what do we got over here? Pound dollar defends 124. Sentiment down. Gotcha. New policy signal. Yeah, we'll see. You say that, but nothing ever changes. We will return to the 2% inflation target and we'll set rates at a restrictive level. Okay, thanks. You say so. If you say so. Really looks like you're killing it right now. You're crushing it. Killing it. No, not really. So yeah. All right, let's go and do the drawing today. It is Friday. There was a lot of the trade setups in the overnight. We were talking about reversal levels. At this point, I'm not super excited about many more trades today. I think there's some decent setups for Sunday night, so we'll see how it goes. I'll take this at 2:30, and then we will go ahead and shut it down. Another 19 seconds, 18 seconds, and we will do it. Exactly. Hey, how many times have we quoted that for him, right? We're like, where is he? And he just didn't show up, right? Yeah. But remember, he also will. In his defense, he says, I don't do Fridays anymore. But he's doing Fridays today, so I don't know. So, all right, here we go. Winner of today's drawing is... Wow, look at that. We talked all that trash about him. He did have the highest percent. It was at 45%, so he did have the most. So it was basically like what? 226. So 6 to 5. It was kind of like a 50-50 chance. 45%. But yeah, I mean, it was there. See what happens when we talk trash? Ernest is like, yeah, you can talk all trash you want. Hey, I'm going into the weekend a winner, guys. I'm going in as a winner, right? I mean, he won 25 today, but it cost them 40. So I mean, he's still negative. But remember, Ernest plays the three-peat, right? The three-peat. That's how he does it. We're still not sure exactly if it's working for him yet, but again, he got stopped on that the other one the other day. So, all right. With that said, I'm out here. You guys have a great weekend. Like I said, there's some pretty decent setup for Sunday night. We'll see what happens this weekend. Again, watch this strike. You're going to hear more and more about the strike, and we'll see what the Fed has to respond with it. So with that, stay warm, stay cool, stay dry. We got high pollen today. That's awesome. It's 65, but now we have high pollen. Lovely. I'll catch you guys Monday morning. So thank you for joining me today. I'll see you guys Monday morning. And with that, I'm out of here. Take care.